You have made all lives matter.
Allah Akbar.
Oh, Masha, Jesus, help.
Hello everyone, Masha Kleiner here. What used to be Pride Day turned to be Pride Weekend, then Pride Week, Pride Month, and Pride Season. So I went to a few events, and the first of them is the Trans March on Commercial Drive in Vancouver, and I'm happy to share what I recorded there. And let's jump right in.
Edith Williams, Kutana Sila'ah. Edith Williams, Kutana Sila'ah. Yehuniak. Abbotsford Koskon, Heaton Huck, Samath. My honored and respected relatives, I am Noble Wolf, the 13th artist. I come from the Musqueam and Sumas nations. I'm happy to see you all. I'm happy to be learning my language. And raise my hands to all of you, what I just did there, speaking within Hakkaminam, one of the languages of this land. I come from the Hamath Kayamastayoch. I, stepping forward as a two-spirit person,
Let's see the next speaker.
You may see police on the march. They will just turn up. What you do is not engage. If you are asked to speak to a police officer, you say, no, thank you, I don't know anything, and you keep marching.
People who speak about Canadian law enforcement with disrespect are always suspicious to me. And surprisingly, there was no police. But one thing that worried me specifically is that, see this sign? This is Canadian Socialist Rifle Association. And there was also this one about firearms. Well, this is a little worrying because, unfortunately, and I don't like promoting stigmas, but we've seen some trans-related violence, especially in the last year, notably the murder of Charlie Kirk. It's almost 1 year anniversary. So when we have a dedicated trans march and dedicated firearms-related signs, no comment.
This year, I stepped back from organizing when I was told that my voice was irrelevant. When I saw a party being planned, the protest being sidelined. This trans march will become another funnel for queer dollars into police pockets. I want to fight the system.
You see, these people won't protest for the sake of protest because there isn't much left to protest about.
The organizers cited an anti-carceral policy to silence a black refugee trans woman. Call-outs by the oppressed are not carceral.
There was a lot of internal drama that organizers canceled one of the speakers. There is more on that now. Let's see.
I'm asked to hand off my mic to her, so that's what I'm going to do.
Calamity! Where are you? The white supremacy.
This reminds me of the NDP convention earlier this year where there were the different victimhood cards or whatever they call them. So she's black, trans, and refugee. Her victimhood is a lot more victimy. So this is why this person who is, I don't know her gender identity, but she's white and probably not a refugee. So she gave up her mic for Zara to speak.
Calamity! Where are you? The white supremacy, white centering, and self-pitying as you are. Black transgender people from the US have tried to flee to your country, barred at the border. Transgender people in ICE concentration camps. My white peers do what they do best, degrade and dismiss me. But I call it white flight, not by the white wings of peace-seeking doves, not by the white, man-made wings of Icarus's hubris. No, by something far more pathetic. By the flapping of their white arms in surrendered panic. Calamity! Where are you?
This was very Shakespearean. This is long, so you can scroll forward if you are not enjoying this, but so much drama.
Which is so common in anti-blackness, and how gloriously did you all fail. Trans people of Vancouver, these are the trans people you look up to? These self-important white women? Calamity! Where are you? the many dead black trans women you retweet, and the murdered and missing indigenous men, women, boys, girls, and two-spirit people you don't consider trans enough to show up for in mass. Mass murder is your comfort zone. You have made all lives matter. Your white fragility makes me feel like I'm having to storm Normandy just to talk to you.
It was like a struggle session. She shamed the crowd for 20 minutes, and everyone just silently listened, being shamed for being Canadian and being white.
How fucking pathetic! And the best tenet of white supremacy of all, conflict avoidance. You see, I was born in a white household. I know how to deal with y'all. Y'all ain't shit. Flapping white arms. Absolutely pitiable. Calamity, where are you?
There was a lot of blackness, whiteness, white supremacy, but also there was a lot of complaining about her difficult situation and how no one actually came to help her. And some people promised to share her posts on TikTok, something, invite her to a live stream, but didn't. There was a lot of bickering like that. It's fun to see them attack each other. There will be more of that. All right, and now we are finally done with all the stupid speeches, and let's go on a march together.
We will not live in fear. We are here, we are here. We will not live in fear. We are here, we are here. We will not live in fear. From the river to the sunshine will be.
Notice this sign, nature is queer. I don't know where this came from, but I would like to share this for a second from the BC Teachers Federation. This resource is called Queering Outdoor Education. This is a series of lessons and ideas that problematize some of the binary gender and biology assumptions that can accompany outdoor educations. I guess reality is a problem and biology is a problem, and so we need to make biology weird and queer. Well, this is crazy. Let's keep marching. Oh, and of course, you hear from the river to the sea. It's very simple. Queers and trans are marching for Palestinians. Palestinians would never be marching for queers or trans. So this is absolutely ridiculous. But don't forget to count the kafirs in the crowd. Here is another sign that I would like you to pay attention to. See, some people collect stamps and pins or other stuff. I collect chants and signs and banners, slogans. I must warn you that the chants in this march were quite disappointing. There was not much creativity, but the signs, on the other hand, were great. So this says Smash System, and this is a word game. I actually like word games generally. I just don't like the message of this one because you see, cis here is the cisgender, so normal. I don't know why would we want to smash the normal people, but obviously, like the previous speaker said, we want to fight and protest. We don't want to just celebrate. So I guess there is that. Notice this, folks. So when we were just leaving the park beforehand after the speeches, this quick thing happened. Let's take a look. And suddenly this happened. Turns out it's really hard to film the assault when you are the one being assaulted. So this guy that I showed you before with the kafia covering his face, he just came out of nowhere and shoved his banner in my camera and in my face. My glasses fell off. But luckily, I had my wonderful security team with me, and they stepped in very quickly. I don't know what would have happened had they not been there, but I wouldn't want to find that out.
Hey, don't touch me.
Hey, that's assault, man. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
In the conversation here, he insists that I cannot be filming. But you see, this is a public space, and according to the Canadian law, I am allowed to film here if I want to, even if the people who are there don't like me filming them.
No, it doesn't matter. She is on.
So yeah, this is the wonderful guy, and let's keep watching the march.
Shame! 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 What do you know about IPAs?
Fucking Nazi.
First of all, I just want you to get the impression of the size of the crowd. I estimate there was something about 700 to 800 people, maybe more, it's hard to tell. These particular banners are from the Socialist Alternative. That's a socialist group in Vancouver. These are printed signs. So here it says, we are going to win. Win what? Win against whom? That's a puzzle.
When I say trans rights, you say no! Trans rights! No! Trans rights! No! When I say we stand, you say no! We stand! No! We stand! No! When I say trans rights, you say...
Okay, so two signs here. One on the left says the body of Christ is non-binary. I don't know where they get it from. I guess from the same place where Christ was Palestinian. But this specific one, please read. You are lucky that trans people, all they want is equality, not revenge. Sounds like a threat to me.
When I say trans rights, you say no! Trans rights! No! Trans rights! No! When I say we stand, you say proud! We stand! Proud! We stand! Proud!
So this sign says trans lives over cis lives. Interesting. And the flag, it's a little hard to read. I couldn't get a better shot, but I really wanted to capture this flag. So this says Anak Bayan Surrey. I did just a little preview of all the Filipino communist activity in Canada. I really need to investigate it more because it's a whole network. So remember this name, Anak Bayan, and I will put a link in the description of the video to the Anak Bayan Filipino protest that I recently filmed in Vancouver.
What do we do? Fight back!
Why do we fight back? Do we fight back against what? Why are they so militant? And this particular person, you can see the scars from the top surgery. I never seen it live before. It's kind of sad. Another interesting sign that says, punch a turf, do it. And this one on the right says, no turf, no swerve. If, like myself, you are not familiar with the terminology, let's explore it together. TERF means trans-exclusionary radical feminist, and swerve means sex worker exclusionary radical feminist. So basically, these are women that don't believe that men can become women. It's predictable that they are being hated at the trans march, but punch a turf, that's a call for violence. So I don't know what your feelings about this are. Another communist flag here. So what I especially like is when people on the internet tell me, oh, there are no communists in Canada. And so I really wonder, if there are no communists in Canada, who are all these people marching with communist flags? So this one says, protect trans kids. Now, seeing a person with a toddler carrying this sign as if this toddler is somehow trans makes me worry. Kids are indoctrinated in schools and by parents. And just a personal anecdote. In January this year, together with Dallas Brody, we went to the conservative convention in Calgary and we talked to a lot of people there. So these are conservative people. And the number of people who told us that their kids went to college and came out of their trans was actually shocking. So I invite you to make your own conclusions, but I think statistically, this doesn't make any sense. There was another sign in there was one of the banners in the protest, maybe we'll see it later, that said that trans people are just 1%. I think we are going way above that, so it's not natural at all.
We are all we are all
You hear how they say, we are all welcome here? Well, except if you disagree with us. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. We can't really survive this without Palestine.
trans rights are human rights. We are here, we are. We will not live in.
Come on, y'all, make some noise, make some noise, make some noise. 3 more boys, make some noise.
While we were still marching, this thing happened. Again, unfortunately, it's not visible in the video, but this guy actually pushed my security team with the bicycle.
Can you not do this? I don't give you permission. Who are you? Hey, who are you? Who are you? Call the police!
They just can't tolerate seeing people they don't like being out on the street and not scared. It pisses them off so much. And look, he doesn't like me filming him. And despite that, he keeps calling the police and pushing my security.
Hey!
Just a quick preview so that we don't have to go back to it. After the event finished and we were going to our cars, we them again.
Fucking Nazi. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
There just was a recent Oxford debate whether the West should worry about Islam. And funny how he demonstrates that Allahu Akbar actually is used like a threat. He literally uses it as a threat. That's quite telling, isn't it?
Fuck you.
Why are you saying
Fuck you, transphobic asshole.
Why
Fuck you, transphobic asshole. Fuck you. You're disgusting. You're disgusting.
Just to make sure we weren't following them, we were walking to our car. They just happened to be there. So then we went to the park where there was this big gathering of people and tents, people sitting on the grass. Not everyone marched, some were waiting there. They were doing a haircut, and I went to school.
Petition to say to bring the politics back into Pride. Oh, Masha, Jesus, hell.
Hello. Are you
This is a
queer?
right-wing nut job right here. He's very much in favor of the destruction of Palestine too. You could just leave. You don't have to leave. And she creepily goes along with her phone camera all over the place. That's really fucking cool. Yeah, have you heard about the data centers and the victory?
So these guys from Socialist Alternative, I already showed you their banners, And interestingly enough, they are talking here about data centers. What does it have to do with trans movement? Nothing.
That we had around the data
I'm
centers.
so excited about that.
That's right. Just gonna put that up there.
You're not wanted here.
Why?
Because.
Well, I'm just exploring your table.
No, we know you. You dox people. You're horrendous.
So this woman is from IJV. IJV is Independent Jewish Voices. They are independent of common sense, and they are advocating for the destruction of Israel and basically for genocide of Jews. Filming public events is not doxing, but just because she said so, here is her social media and here is her name. I will not be telling you where she lives and where she works, because that would be doxing. But here we go.
Why would you say that? It is so not inclusive.
What you do is not okay. It's not about inclusion.
What is it that I do that's not
Go
okay?
away. We don't want to talk to you.
We're from the Vancouver Park Board, so the recreation for queer and trans folks.
What kind of programs do you have for youth?
So we have a special event coming up. This is a wellness fair where they basically get some workshops about the sex ed that queer and trans youth don't get. And then it's also just a social program later in the day. Starting in the fall, we will have Q Youth, which is a youth drop-in program on Thursdays at Mount Pleasant.
And what ages is it for?
Different ages. So our Gender Creative Kids is 7 to 12, and then most of our youth programs are 13 to 18.
Gender Creative Kids for 7-year-olds. I picked up some of their flyers. This is created by the city of Vancouver. So this is paid for with our tax dollars. And here is what it said. You see, this is a very young children here, right? Gender creative children. We support registered and drop-in programs for 2S LGBTQIA people of all ages, including exclusive programs for children who are two-spirit, trans, gender diverse, intersex, or gender questioning. This is for kids aged 6 to 12. Gender diverse 6-year-old. Gender questioning 6-year-old. Let's continue.
I grew up Catholic myself too. Yeah, I'm just recording the good people in this parade.
Wonderful. Good to meet you. Well, you grew up Catholic, but you're not Catholic anymore?
I guess you could say my faith pivoted, but I look up to devotion.
What connects you to this community?
Love. Yeah, love and community. How about you guys?
I'm
Suspicion?
just
You're recording, right?
yeah.
The 360 camera?
You are recording too.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, where are you?
I'm just
recording for?
just exploring.
Just exploring.
Yeah.
Why are you recording kids and stuff? Well, this is a very weird thing to do.
It's a public event in the city. I am interested.
I know,
in
but like
events.
to be like actively like really getting in their faces for like reasons of like identifications. That is a little.
I'm not getting in anyone's faces. I'm just making general
Yeah,
crowd.
and I was just saying you guys look very, very nervous. Very nervous.
Do we look nervous?
Yes. Nice little earrings that you guys got and everything. So a little suspicious too, I guess.
Well, you don't have to talk to us. Thank you. You too. Thank you.
I don't like when people lie. I don't record kids. I actually try to avoid having kids in my frame because I have to work extra hard to blur their faces, which I did. I didn't have an opportunity to conduct more interviews at that point because we started with the speeches. And here, take it away.
Of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. As queers, we reject the weaponization of our rights by Israel. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying fuck Israel and the colonial machine. We stand in firm solidarity with Palestine and aim to work towards collective liberation. As a collective, we prioritize people over states. We uphold the Thalabit. We stand in firm opposition to homo-nationalism and pinkwashing. Okay, give it up for your first speaker, QC4P.
Truth truth is a concept we seem to be having a hard time with recently. We're seeing headlines telling us the truth behind the gender binary, the truth of a ceasefire in Palestine, and they all seem to have such a need to convince us of their so-called truth. When the bloodline-ending bombardment by the Zionist state against Palestinians is met with Al Jazeera ending contracts with 24 reporters in Gaza, and when queer Muslims have to fight for the right to grieve the victims of the Berlin Pride attack, that should tell us what we need to know. Truth is a commitment and a practice. It's listening to your black and brown, queer and trans peers when they tell you that they have been harmed by organizations or people that claim to be intersectional, anti-oppressive, and anti-carceral. It's redistributing your income to Two-Spirit and Indigiqueer friends and businesses on Truth and Reconciliation Day and all year round. It's in getting organized against the anti-trans legislation and hate across so-called Canada. It's in remembering that our liberations are tied not just in concept and common enemy, but in a material commitment to raise hell against the white colonial capitalist machine. Truth is not vague half-truths in passive voice the way Vancouver Pride Society likes to write it. And truth certainly is not lying to queer and trans community about cops in the Pride Parade and failing to ask for accountability from the people who have been demanding it for years. QC4P, Quaya, and queer and trans community have been calling on VPS to stand in solidarity with Palestine, get cops out of Pride, and refusing the pinkwashing and corporatization of our rights for over 2 years now. I hope you get to live your truth today, and I hope you get the chance to honor each other's truths too.
My cat came to watch this with me because I think he knows it's very stressful to watch so much nonsense all at the same time, so he's providing moral support for me. Couple things I would like to point out. I hope you didn't miss that they're calling for redistribution of incomes. Does it remind you of anything? Well, that's communism. Now you have to listen to brown, black, queer and trans peers and indigenous, everyone basically who is not white. Don't listen to white straight people because we need to dismantle the white colonial systems. And also notice again that there is a fight going on between the traditional pride because they allow police to come and maintain some sort of an order, which we will see in my next video, that isn't that much of an order, to be honest, but they're allowed there. So that's why these people are a lot more extreme, and then they don't get along with the Vancouver Pride. Did I miss anything? Oh, yes, of course, I missed the most important part. See what she says at the end?
Now, I hope you get to live your truth today, and I hope you get the chance to honor each other's truths too.
So suddenly everyone has their own truth. You live your truth and honor other people's truths. The problem with this multiple truths universe is that when these truths disagree with each other, you have to choose one of the truths, and that's where the victimhood cards and statuses come into play. So the more checkboxes you can check of your victimhood, the more important your truth is. So this hierarchy of truth isn't very equitable, I would say. And now I have a bonus video for you. I am sure that my viewers are so responsible that young kids are nowhere near the screens, but if you have any heart condition, you might want to also step aside.
Is a high-energy, silly ball of sideshow shenanigans. They are creeping and crawling their way into the drag and burlesque scene, and they want to do it all. Is the second runner-up for the Vancouver Drag Competition Drag Derby and the winner of the 2026 Silly Goose Award. Everybody, give it up for Gnarly!
Tobias was also having a bad day. Lindsay had met someone and he hadn't. And that's when he found what he thought was a support group for depressed men.
You wanted me to stay. Getting all the crazy visions of me in LA. You're a blue pony girl, and you dance at the club. Oh, mama. She's gonna scream. You're a blue pony girl, and you dance at the club. Just have the night on the stage in my heels. It's where I belong, down at the Blue Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing at the Blue Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing down in West Hollywood. On the stage in my heels, it's where I belong, down at
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. This is Crush's third time performing at Transmarch, but this one's a little different. Since the beginning of the year of the Fire Horse, he has started his journey on testosterone, currently 5 months in, and has had his top surgery consultation. Okay. Put your hands together for Kaleidoscope Crush.
I really don't know why we are discussing medical situation of the artist, but it seems that the main and possibly only value of this artist is that they're taking testosterone and considering it top surgery. So here you have it. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I don't know, maybe something really interesting happened afterwards, but I felt that in order to maintain my mental health, I had to leave, so we left. People often ask me, why do you go to these events if you don't like them? So I go because I feel that it is important to document and be aware of what is going on in our society. Before, when I had my office job and my outdoors hobbies, I had no idea that this is happening. What is the scale of it? What are the narratives and how extreme it is? I think everyone should pay attention, especially if you have school-aged kids. I also recommend that everyone follows Billboard Chris on social media, and please watch the video that I will include in the description below of his lecture about the origins of the transgender movement and the effects that it is having on our children. Thank you for watching. I am Masha Kleiner. Please like, share, and subscribe. Very importantly, please subscribe, because soon I will be sharing a video from the next day's Dykes March in the same neighborhood, but that one went really differently for me personally. So see you next time.